All right, good morning, Samaya. Today we are going to have a lesson on RL3, a reading standard, okay? Do you remember going over RL3 with your language arts teacher? RL3 is a reading standard. Let's see what it says. Describe how a particular story's or plot's drama unfolds in a series of episodes, as well as how the characters respond to change as the plot moves through a resolution. Remember that? Anything about this? You do? Okay, so let's talk about the standard a little bit and make sure we understand what we have to do. So what's the main verb in that standard? What's the main thing that we have to do? The main action that we have to do? We're talking about as the plot unfolds, but what do you have to do? You don't unfold anything. What do you have to do? You have to describe. So we're going to describe how a particular story in this event, we have our little story here. It's not very long. It's going to be good. Unfolds. And what do you think unfolds means? What does that mean? Unfolds. How it happens. How things play out in the story, right? In a series of episodes. Episodes. You watch TV? You don't watch much TV. I remember that from your... What do you watch? Scared Straight. So the different episodes. Each week is an episode, right? So as it unfolds in a series of episodes, as well as how the characters respond to change. Characters are who? The people in the story. Respond to change. What does that mean? Respond to change. How they act. Okay? Speak a little bit louder for me. How they act. Respond to change. How they act to change as the plot moves forward. Plot. Remember plot? Have you all talked about plot this year? You sure? I bet if I told you all the elements and everything that's included in a plot, you would say, oh yeah, we talked about that. Are you sure? Where you do the plot diagram, rising action, climax, falling action. You all haven't talked about that this year? You sure? Well, that might be our next lesson. Plot, okay? But plot simply means the events that happen in a story. And so a plot isn't just one thing. A plot is a whole series of things. And when you're filling out a plot diagram, there's a lot that goes into it. So that might be our next lesson, plot. All right? So it's how the characters respond to change as the plot moves toward a resolution. You know what resolution means? Any guess? But it's a certain part of what happens or when it happens. Resolution. The end. Yes. How it comes to a resolution. How it comes to a close. So your favorite stories, your favorite episodes of Scared Straight is dealing with what? Jail. Young kids going to jail? Young kids going to jail. And so how does it usually end? What happens toward the end of it? So the resolution, then they come to a resolution that's really not what they want to do. They really don't want to go to jail. They want to stay on that bad track and end up in jail, right? The resolution, the outcome. Okay? All right. Our learning targets. Here's what I want you to be able to take away from today's lesson. I can analyze a character's traits. I can identify a character's actions. I can recognize a character's words and thoughts. So that's what we're going to talk about. Those are the things that I want you to be able to do when we finish this session. All right? What kind of characters is it? So take a look at the different emojis. Which one stands out for you? The green one. What do you think that one means? What's wrong with that one? Sick. Any others? The green one looks like you're going to throw up. Sick. What about another one? Your second favorite?
That one.
The top one? The top yellow one? What do you think?
It's sad.
Sad? Okay.
It's yellow.
It's yellow. Choose another one.
That red one.
The red one. What do you think?
It's mad.
Mad. Angry. What about the pink one in the middle, at the bottom?
Like it's happy or in love something.
Happy or in love, yes. Well, what about the bottom yellow in the corner right here? What do we think about this one?
It's sad, but it's like nervous.
Nervous? Maybe. So there's only one left.
Like, like doesn't know what to do.
Doesn't know what to do. Scared, maybe? Frightened? Maybe? Don't know what to do. What does the character feel? So all of these are emotions that our characters can have when we're reading a piece, when we're reading a story, right? And we have to take into consideration the actions of the characters sometimes have something to deal with how they feel, their emotions, what they're going through, right? You ever have a good day and a bad day? Good days mean what? It's going good. Everything's good. People get on your nerves on your good day. Most of the time not, right? You're having a good day. Nothing's going to ruin that good day. That's a good day. But what about if you're sick? Maybe not sick enough to stay home. You just don't feel good, but you come on to school anyway. Do you want to be bothered with people? You want to talk to anybody? You want to be by yourself? You're not sick enough green to stay at home because you're not throwing up. But you're feeling bad. Just having a bad day. All right? Let's move on. So we're going to talk a little bit about direct characterization versus indirect characterization. So what do you know about the word direct? What does direct mean?
Like purposely.
Okay, purposely. I like that word. What about indirect?
Like if something like it means to happen.
Think about indirect. You gotta look at your prefix. Indirect means something might happen indirectly because of something else. Indirect. That make sense? Let's look at your definitions. Direct characterization, the character tells the reader who the character is. So the author tells you up front. Whoever the author is of the piece tells you up front who the character is. Make sense? Read the indirect for me.
The author shows the reader who the character is.
So indirect, you find out about who the character is by way of something else, by way of something that happens in the story. Indirect. Direct means, boom, here's your main character. Indirect means you got to try to figure it out by events in the story that unfold, things that happen in the story. Make sense? All right, so you have a text that we're going to read. You have some highlighters. So it says, as I read this to you, I want you to underline any words that describe the character and circle any words that help you see the character. So you can use your different highlighters, whichever one. Go ahead and put your key. Put a little slash for the yellow and tell me, you can use the yellow, you can use the highlighter. And then out beside it, is that going to be underlined? So you're going to underline any words that describe the character. So put describe the character by yellow. It's okay. It's yours. You good. You can abbreviate if you want to. Shorthand it. You're good. And then the green, do a little slash with the green or a circle. And then it's any words that help you see the character. And actually, I'm going to let you read it to yourself first, and then I'm going to read it. Okay? So as you're reading, I'm going to read my copy as well. You highlight anything? You can go ahead and highlight as you read. Circle or underline. Or just highlight it, whichever one you want to do. with your two different colors. All right, you done? All right, so here's your little story. Louis hurried to get ready for school because band tryouts were going to be held this morning, and he didn't want to be late. So if you run across anything else while I'm reading that you think needs to be highlighted in either color, go ahead and highlight, okay? And just in case you missed something, all right? His stomach felt queasy, so he took only 2 bites of his toast before rushing out the door. He tapped a nervous finger on his trumpet case continuously during the entire bus ride to school. The score he made at tryouts this morning would determine his report card grade in band, and if he made another C, he would be grounded for a whole month. All right? So now let's talk about Louis a little bit. What did we find out about Louis?
That he doesn't like to be late.
He doesn't want to be late this morning? Mm-hmm.
That his stomach wasn't feeling well.
So why is his stomach not feeling good? Is he just sick, or why is his stomach not feeling good?
Because he don't want to be late.
He doesn't want to be late, but there's another reason why his stomach is feeling a little queasy. We'll figure it out later. Keep going. What else do you know about Louis?
He has tryouts.
He has tryouts for what? For what?
Band.
Band tryouts. What instrument does he play?
Something.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Nothing else? All right, so let's see. Is Louis worried, happy, mad, or sad? Remember the emojis? Which one is he? You think he's worried? Why is he worried?
Because he doesn't, he's worried that he's going to be late to tryouts.
Worried that he's going to be late to tryouts. What else might he be worried about? Take a look at the text. What else might he be worried about?
If he made another C.
Okay, if he makes another C, but then what is he going to do this morning? He doesn't want to be late to school because he is doing what?
Eating?
Mm-mm. Keep going. So he took only 2 bites before rushing out the door. He tapped a nervous finger on his trumpet case continuously during the entire bus ride to school. The score he made at what?
Tryouts.
So what is he going to school to do? What is he so nervous about?
The tryouts.
The tryouts. Now, why is he nervous about the tryouts? That takes us on down to this part. Why is he nervous about the tryouts?
Because he was determined.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to make another C.
He didn't want to make another C. So he has a lot to be worried about, right? Number 1, you said he was worried. He doesn't want to be
Late.
He doesn't want to be late. Number 2, he has
Tryouts.
and number 3, he doesn't want to make
Another C.
So he has a lot to be worried about, right? So how much of that did you underline? Because remember, if we go back, we were supposed to be underlining words that describe our character or circling any words that help us see our character. Did any of that help you see or describe Louis? Mm-hmm. All of it did, really, right? So we know he's nervous. And now we know why he's nervous. Right? We know he's worried. Was nervous? Yeah, we know he's worried. And now we know why he's worried. All right, so Louis hurried to get ready for school. What does hurried tell us about Louis? He doesn't want to be late this morning, so he's rushing, right? To get to school because band tryouts were going to be held this morning, and he didn't want to be late. His stomach felt queasy. What does that tell us about Lewis?
Weird.
Not really. Have you ever been nervous or upset? You like roller coasters? You don't like roller coasters. You ever been going fast in a car over a hill?
Yeah, I went on a roller coaster before.
And what did it do for your stomach?
It was kind of fun, but I don't like the drop.
And what did the drop do for your stomach?
It like, I don't know, just
Can't describe the feeling. Kind of queasy, butterflies, kind of.
I got to throw up.
Queasy. That's what it means. That's what it means when it says his stomach felt queasy. He felt a little bit sick to his stomach. Not sick like needed to stay at home sick because he has a bug, but sick because he's nervous. So sometimes when you get nervous and your stomach does crazy things, and you feel crazy stuff in your stomach, and your stomach is rumbling, or you feel those little flutter like butterflies, that's what that means. Your stomach, you're feeling a little queasy. So he took only 2 bites of his toast before rushing. Again, rushing tells us what?
Like, he's hurrying.
He's hurrying. He still is determined he's not going to be late. Rushing out the door. He tapped a nervous finger, so he's tapping his fingers. What does that do? You ever had anybody do that? You never heard anybody do that? Oh, it drives me crazy. Oh, it drives me crazy. And some people that have nails like to do it because they like the sound. It drives me crazy. So what do you think it means? He tapped a nervous finger.
Like, it's like a habit that he does.
But it's a nervous finger, remember? So what does that tell us about him?
Worrying about his grades.
He's still worrying about, yes. He's still thinking about those tryouts. And so it has him a little bit worried, a little bit concerned, huh? So he's on his trumpet case. He's tapping a nervous finger on his trumpet case continuously. Continuously means what?
Like, over and over.
Over and over. He doesn't stop. During the entire bus ride to school. The score he made at tryouts this morning would determine his report card grade in band. And if he made another C, he would be grounded for a month. Can you see the worried look on his face? Can you visualize him tapping his finger? Because he's thinking about it. He has to do well. He can't mess up. He can't fail this audition. He can't fail this tryout because he cannot take another C home on his report card. Right? So all of the words up here in red tell us about Lewis. Either describes him or tells us what he looks like, right? Yes. Stomach felt queasy. He's hurrying. He's rushing. You can see him tapping his finger. He knows that he can't make another C because he will be grounded for a month. So let's take a look at these different emotions and see if we can, these different actions, and see if we can tie emotions to them. Stomps foot on the floor, yells, slams books on the table. Happy, scared, sad, or mad? Mad. You ever did any of this? All of it at one time? Yes. Smiles broadly, hums to herself. Are you happy, scared, sad, or mad?
Happy.
You're happy. Frowns, cries easily, wrings hands, walks with a slump. Are you happy, scared, sad, or mad?
Sad.
Okay. Sad. Could some of these go for another one of those emotions, but all of them together, sad. What